Chapter 13 bankruptcy is the other type of bankruptcy that comes up with regular frequency. A Chapter 13 very simply is a repayment plan based on your ability to pay over a period from 36 to 60 months. Not everybody is eligible to file a Chapter 13 if you have more than somewhere in the neighborhood of $375,000, $380,000 worth of unsecured debt. Unsecured debt is credit cards and medical bills and repossession deficiencies and these types of things. If you have more than $380,000 worth of unsecured debt or more than somewhere just north of $1 million worth of secured debt, like secured debt is cars and houses, land, real estate, this type of stuff, then you're not eligible for a Chapter 13 bankruptcy. Chapter 13 is a great proceeding. I love Chapter 13 for when it applies. It doesn't always apply. Sometimes it's better just to get a fresh start in a Chapter 7 liquidation and move on. But a Chapter 13 allows you to retain property that otherwise would be lost in a Chapter 7. For example, if I have a client come in that owns a small business, a mom and pop shop, whatever it is, I'm not going to advise them to file a Chapter 7 bankruptcy unless they're done with that business, unless they're completely out of the business and they don't plan on retaining those accounts receivables. They don't plan on retaining that goodwill that exists in a business if it's a separate business from themselves, an LLC, a corporation, these types of things. Now, I'm getting into a little bit too great a detail with regard to when I would file a Chapter 13, but remember, with regard to owning a business, if it's a business that it's a personal service business where you're a graphic artist or you're someone who gives, maybe you're a painter or a mechanic or something where you give a service and you get paid immediately and it's all about you. It's not about another entity out there that has to have huge amounts of capital resources and equipment. I'm not going to file a Chapter 7 for my client. I'm going to recommend a Chapter 13 where they can protect that business. Now, Chapter 13 bankruptcy allows you to keep property that otherwise would have been taken in a Chapter 7 liquidation. For example, if you have a car that's worth $9,000 and it's free and clear, the equity in that vehicle is $9,000. But you can only protect in Arizona a motor vehicle worth $6,000. And that means that if they took the $9,000 vehicle and sold it, they'd have to give you the first $6,000, the other $3,000 gets paid out to your unsecured creditors. That's a liquidation Chapter 7. In a Chapter 13, we don't have anybody come and take in our car. We simply provide for our unsecured creditors that extra $3,000 over the life of the 36 to 60 month plan. Now, this isn't the time for us to discuss exemptions in any great detail, but since I brought up the motor vehicle exemption, I will tell you, if you are physically disabled or if you have a dependent that is physically disabled, you're allowed to protect a motor vehicle that's worth up to $12,000 equity. Chapter 13 is a very complex area. It's a puzzle that we have to put together, and it shifts based on timing. It shifts and changes based on facts. Things can change while we're working up a case. Please schedule an appointment to meet with me in my office. I'll look forward to gathering what you already understand about your situation and sharing with you what I already understand about Chapter 7 and Chapter 13 bankruptcies. And then we'll talk about what I would do if I woke up in your shoes. I'll make recommendations. Then you can decide what's best and what's in your best interest.